What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to the Apothecary Diaries, this time of Season 2, Episode 8, I think it is. Looks like this one's called the Empress Dowager. I think this is going to be in the same vein as last episode in terms of looking at the relationships and I struggle to put it into words, but last episode there's a bit more to it than just the kind of mystery of the whole door situation, wasn't there? I did actually have to look up myself some of the relationships between, especially Jinchi. I was under the impression Jinchi, we saw in season 1 that his mother kind of swapped him with another baby. I'm still not kind of fully cognizant, is that the word for it? Of the whole situation, but again, my impression currently is that Jinchi got swapped as a baby so that he would be more healthy or protected or something along those lines. And then the person that swapped babies with his mother wanted her son to have a better life, so he would, I'm not sure if being in the spotlight more would be the right thing to say, but he'd have a more kind of rich life and be better off than he would have been under Empress Dowager, I think it is. Like I said, I could just be talking absolute nonsense right now, but that is my understanding of things. I'm 100% sure the swap happened. Like, again, we saw that in season 1, but like, again, some of the details aren't too fresh in my mind, so hopefully if we do get into any of that today, it will be easy to digest. But yeah, do let me know what you guys thought about this one in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. Absolutely love the last episode, by the way. Love the bit of mystery in there, but again, also bringing it back to the kind of story of Jinchi and the Emperor and such. Judging by some of the reactions and such, obviously the old man obviously knows who Jinchi actually is, but I think the Emperor does as well. I think, judging by how he was talking. So they do this there. But yeah, what I don't know too much about is, again, this Dowager and like the relationships each mother had with the other person's son. Again, I also, as you probably understood there, still not 100% sure of like the, sorry to pause just so I don't miss anything. I'm still not like 100% sure of the reason why. I think I'm pretty set on the reason why this Dowager. I'm not even sure if I'm getting the names right, but I think the Dowager is not the mother of Jinchi, but the one that looked after Jinchi as a mother, but not his actual mother. I think it makes sense that she switched her son because, again, for riches and for a better life. But again, I can't quite remember as to why Jinchi's mother switched him. That is the one thing that's kind of eluding me, and I don't want to look up too much because inevitably you end up getting people spoiling it and such, and you just like you stumble across someone talking about something that happens in the future, and oh, okay then. So I don't want to look it up too much, but if any of you guys can help me out with that in the comment section, that would be appreciated without any spoilers, if possible, please. They kind of look a little like bugs. I think we know who that is. I think, yeah, pretty sure it's her. The crazy bug lady. Do you know what I was thinking of earlier today? Just like people are always so scared of spiders and stuff, but how many of you guys, if you are scared of spiders, have ever actually been bitten by a spider? I've handled spiders quite often, and I've never been bit or anything by one. I live in the UK, so there's nothing like too dangerous about them here. But obviously, in a place like Australia, you don't want to even take that chance. But yeah. What are these eye things about with the subtitles? That to show that it's in her head, I imagine. The essence of Jinchi. So yeah, I think these eye things, yeah, they're signifying that what's being said is in her head, but it's not really necessary. It is what it is, I guess. Not too big an issue as long as the subtitles are somewhat accurate. Yep. This caravan stuff is so suspect. I say this every week. So much negative stuff has come from that. It could just be absolute coincidence, but here she is. It could just be absolute coincidence, but it kind of feels like that whole caravan stuff was here just to mess up this place, doesn't it? Have any of you guys ever like tried catching like grasshoppers and stuff? It's actually a bit of a nightmare. I remember when I used to try catch frogs as a kid. It was very difficult. I used to have this. Probably mentioned it before. I used to have this well, a wishing well. There was never a hole. It was just like the outer bit of one. And it used to be in my garden. I used to put all kinds of like insects and frogs and stuff in there. Sounds important. Who was that? That's Dowager. I spoke about earlier. Hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. That's the emperor's. The emperor looks like a granddad. She looks like she could be his son, his daughter. Sorry, I did just miss that. It's a bit taken back. Like I said, literally looks like that could be his daughter. Yeah, that is his mother. Nuts. Where were we? 8:30. So yeah, if you guys might have to bear with me. As I said in the intro, there might be a few things I'm not as clued up on as I would have been maybe in season 1. Just because it's been a little while since then. And as I said, any help is also appreciated. Cat reflexes. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. Yeah, well, yeah, it does definitely sound like this Dowager seems like a really good woman. Yeah, I don't know all too much about her. Like, I mean, you can the logical thing would be that she's a good person because of that, but that's not always the case. Plenty of terrible people have done good things, and vice versa. And she. And she Dowager. How does this woman look so young? Incredible. So she wanted to speak to Maomao this whole time. Well, this is my. I said I was worried about this. about her efforts getting out there into the public and people realizing that she's such a powerful woman. So this could be a good thing. Okay, good. But okay. And on that point again, just to pause for a sec. Again, this seems quite good. I mean, Dowager's just coming to Maomao with her problem, which could be a negative, and it's a positive for us from a storytelling perspective, because inevitably Maomao's probably going to get, as she succeeds in a lot of these mysteries and such, she's going to get more interesting and harder mysteries to solve, and people with higher importance probably coming to her, as we see now, which is a good thing, but probably a bit of a negative for Maomao as well, having to deal with stress, but she likes doing it, so it's a good thing. But imagine, I just imagine kind of, maybe it's just me, but issues that are going to be like really political and might not have a good way to solve, and might just get Maomao in trouble, and just people wanting Maomao out of the equation so she can't solve these people's issues. Like if there is something political that Maomao needs to sort out, and killing Maomao would mean that people don't find out about it, like stuff like that might just arise. And as I've been saying recently, I'm just kind of worried, and this is further proof to that worry, to be honest with you. The fact that someone of this status is coming to Maomao with a problem is not a good sign. Although this is a positive interaction, seemingly, it's not a good sign for me. Although it's a good sign again for the storytelling, because things are going to get more interesting, and going to get bigger characters involved in this stuff, and yeah. I place a curse on the late emperor. What, in terms of her blood? Like what we saw last episode? I place a curse on him. I can only think of like genetics getting passed down. What she means by that. I don't know. Did I say lolicon? Oh. Again, sorry to pause. I did hear that, right? Right? Lolicon daroka. Okay. Honestly, I think that might be one of the first times I've heard that term in a non-comedic way. I've heard it quite often, like Gintama and do comedy anime, Psyche K perhaps, and stuff like that. Obviously, you hear that term all the time online. Okay. Not great. Not great. Don't want to hear that. Jesus. Fucking hell, we're going for a lot of details right now. So there's already been quite a bit of pause in this episode, so apologies, but I mentioned in the intro I'm not fully kind of versed in all this stuff, so I definitely want to take this in. So that's her dad right there. That's Lowman, the old man, that we saw a little bit of in season 1. So he obviously assists now. I think we did hear about that before. I'm not sure we heard about the whole lolicon stuff before. I think we might have. I mean, the I think it's Leisha, is it? The choice of the young, I always want to say courtesan, consort, the young consort that we have currently with like kind of brownish hair. She's like less than 10, I think. I always found that a bit weird just from season 1. So yeah, not a great reputation to have from that guy, is it? Okay. So again, this is where I'm confused at. So this emperor here, is he? Sorry guys, like I said, I'm just trying to get my head around this. So this current emperor is actual son, Dowager's actual son, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little bit like lost. I thought I was a little bit more confident on it with what I said in the intro, but the more I actually like think about it and get into it, the more I feel kind of a bit lost. But I think this episode is going to do a pretty good job at actually sorting out a little bit. I hope. So that's the thing. The Imperial. The current emperor grew up healthy. He was the person born here, I think. And the Empress Dowager later gave birth to the Imperial younger brother, which is Jinchi, but it's not actually Jinchi. I don't think. I don't know. Remember correctly, the Imperial younger brother is 1 year older than me. Empress Dowager gave birth, she was nearly 30. She was far from being considered a young girl. Yep. Okay. As I said, guys, apologies. You're gonna have to bear with me with some of this. Couple good women here. This is the guy I was talking about earlier, Li Shu. We still haven't seen too much of. Yeah, we don't hear about her often. We don't see her too often. She's just kind of doing her own thing, isn't she? Keeping low. It's interesting. It's almost like prison, in a way. Try to keep low, not make too much noise, not anger people. She has indeed. Of course not. Fucking scary ass woman. Good at her job. Like I said, it's a little bit like prison, this place. Little brush. Oh, is this that like gemstone stuff? Archaeology kind of rock stuff? You see them use those things to like, yeah. Huh. She thought her feelings kind of came to life. How can you ever prove a curse is real? Oh shit. That's incredible. Holy crap. Well, there are things that I'm not sure for a year. I'm not sure. I mean, I know a little about this because again, I'm quite a fan of horror movies. So there's like there are things that they do at funerals to make the dead more presentable. Sometimes they use makeup. This is coming from one of Mike Flanagan's series. I can't remember what it's called right off the top of my head. Um, the house, the one I haven't watched is the House of Usher. So the two before that, but yeah, they put like makeup on them, and I think there is certain kind of not drugs per se, but things you can do to preserve a body. One of them, as Maomao said, being to freeze it. I spoke about this week actually. I can't remember what anime I was watching, but about the whole scam of people being cryogenically frozen so that they can come back to life in the future, which again is just a huge scam and it's just ending your life before you should, for absolutely no other reason than trying to be greedy and live forever. But yeah, away from that, there's not too much you can do to actually preserved, especially for a year. So I think I can understand now why she does think it is a curse, because that is very strange. It's very, very strange. Especially during this time period. I've got to imagine it's some kind of weird freak occurrence. Like, is someone attending to the body and looking after it? Oh, what the hell's going on? Except for this guy, apparently. Interesting. If you guys are fans of horror movies, there's a really good one about a mortician in a morgue called The Autopsy of Jane Doe. It's one of the most underrated horror movies I've ever seen. Not one of the best I've ever seen, but one of the most underrated for sure. I love that movie. It's got a few details on autopsies and such. It's about a slight spoiler here, I guess. It's about an autopsy of a supposed witch. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, a lot of details in today's episode, not all of which flowed through me, and I totally understood for sure. There was a lot to get my head around, but I think if I go over those scenes a couple more times, I probably will be a bit more versed in the whole of what's going on with the whole Jinshi, Dowager, the old emperor, that whole situation. I still feel like I don't have to be fully versed in it to still get enjoyment, if that makes any sense. Like, obviously understanding it more would be beneficial, but it doesn't take away any enjoyment I get from the series and this episode. But yeah, you can definitely tell, like, this episode, last episode, and probably the next episode at least are going to be quite focused on this, so it's probably best to try and understand it as best as I can. Late Emperor. So I'm thinking perhaps we see there like a scene of Maomao with that gold, and we saw the scene of them, little baby Jinshi here. Okay. We see the scene of Maomao with like a bit of gold here, and we saw that scene earlier on where she does enter that place where the old emperor died with his mother, I think it was. And I said earlier they were like doing some archaeology kind of gem finding stuff, so maybe it's a reaction, perhaps a bit like you get like uranium reactions and humans react to like radiation and such. Maybe there's like a bit of like radiation or something of that kind of type on these stones that they were collecting, perhaps. Maybe it's, yeah, perhaps I can't remember what it is. I remember seeing a video of this guy that would like drink a certain type of something. I'm really not doing a good job of explaining this, but it was like a silver, but it wasn't silver. It was something of that kind of nature, and he'd drink it for like 10-20 years, and eventually his skin turned a totally different color than a normal human being's. I think I can't remember what color it turned, but it wasn't black or white or yellow or whatever. It was a really strange color. Perhaps it's something like that, where it's like, because they're around it so much, it kind of it kind of affects them, and in death it's kind of made him, it's kind of preserved him, perhaps. Again, I don't really know. If I looked into it, I'd probably be able to. That's the thing. If you pop on Google, you find the answer. I don't really want to do that. It's kind of like what I said earlier with the whole looking up the information about like the history of Jinshi and such. I'm bound to find out a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't know at this point, probably. So I don't really want to kind of Google that kind of stuff and spoil myself. But yeah, that's a really interesting situation. As I said, this is a little bit worrying. Obviously, this isn't this specific case isn't too worrying, but this is a bit of a worrying sign that we've got someone like Dowager asking Maomao for help. Again, just makes you question in the future what horrible people might come to her for help and what she might have to do, and so on and so forth. But as I did say, I will have to rewatch these scenes. I won't rewatch them with you guys now. I'll rewatch in my own time because it could take hours. But yeah, again, if any of you guys could help me, that would very much be appreciated in the comment section if I did get anything wrong during these segments. But yeah, very interesting setup here. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode though down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions though. And I'll see you guys next week with episode 9.